Testing, testing. 1, 2.
All right, hello. If I could have your attention, please, that'd be super great, just for a quick moment. For those of you guys that don't know, we have a capacity of 750 people, which means opening ceremonies is split between 2 rooms. Ideally, we want as many people in here as possible. So if there are gaps in the middle of your seats, could you guys please squeeze in and pinch in so that everybody gets a chance to be in this room if possible. We'll start in a bit. Thank you.
been unmuted? Okay. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hello, everybody. Just quiet down, please. Thank you. We're about to start. All right. My name is Daniel, and I'm the president of Hack the Hill, and I'm really pleased to serve everybody today in this capacity as president, and to welcome you to our second iteration of Hack the Hill. Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Daniel. Je suis le président de Hack the Hill et je suis très fier de vous accueillir aujourd'hui à notre deuxième hackathon. I want to send a warm welcome to each and every one of you. The Hack the Hill Hackathon is not only a celebration of innovation and creativity, but it's also a key part of our organization's mission and something that we've invested a lot of time and effort in over the past 18 months now, because we originally had this hackathon rescheduled slightly. Je vous souhaite un chaleureux bienvenue à tous et à toutes. Et aussi, je veux remercier notre équipe pour tout le travail fort qu'ils ont fait au cours des derniers 18 mois sur ce hackathon. C'est une partie très importante de la mission de notre organisation et on en a mis beaucoup d'efforts. I also want to thank everybody, all the hackers that are joining us from all over the country today for attending the hackathon. Je veux remercier tous les hackers qui viennent de partout autour du pays et même d'autres pays pour venir à notre hackathon. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the land on which we stand. I think there is a slide for this. Okay, yeah, here we go. Hack the Hill takes place on the traditional, unceded, and unsurrendered territory of Algonquin Anishinaabe people. Hack the Hill se déroule sur le territoire non cédé traditionnel du peuple algonquin Anishinaabe. As we come gather today together from coast to coast, we recognize and respect the ongoing relationship Indigenous people have with these lands. Alors que nous réunissons aujourd'hui d'un bout à pays à l'autre, nous reconnaissons et respectons la relation continue des peuples autochtones avec ces terres. We also acknowledge traditional knowledge keepers of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation and the many generations who have passed on their wisdom and care for this land. Nous reconnaissons également les gardiens traditionnels des connaissances de la nation algonquine Anishinaabe et les nombreuses générations qui ont transmis leur sagesse et leurs soins de cette terre. This acknowledgement is not just for formality. It is a very important reminder that the innovation and progress we seek should also be accompanied by respect, understanding, and inclusivity. Monday, in fact, is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, and it's an important moment for us to really reflect on the impact of residential schools in Canada. Cette reconnaissance n'est pas juste une formalité, c'est un rappel que l'innovation et le progrès que nous recherchons doivent être accompagnés de respect, de compréhension et d'inclusivité. Lundi, c'est la journée de réconciliation et de vérité nationale, et c'est un moment important pour nous de reconnaître l'impact des écoles résidentielles au Canada. We are grateful to be able to gather here, and we commit ourselves to learning from the past and working towards a future that honors all who call this land home. Et nous reconnaissons de pouvoir nous réunir ici, et nous encourageons à tous à apprendre et à œuvrer pour un avenir qui honore tous ceux qui habitent cette terre. As we turn our focus to the excitement ahead this weekend, I'd like to welcome you all officially to Hack the Hill 2. Alors que nous tournons notre attention vers les jours passionnants à venir, j'aimerais vous souhaiter la bienvenue officielle à Hack the Hill 2. Now I'd like to pass the stage to our incredible VPs of Logistics, Simon and Thanula, who will walk us through some of the important event guidelines. Je vais maintenant passer la parole à nos VP logistiques qui vont vous expliquer quelques importants, les consignes importantes pour l'événement. Merci. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can everyone in the back hear me? Thank you. First of all, I'm really excited to be here. Like some of you in the crowd, this is also my first hackathon. So we're really excited to have you today, whether you're a returning participant or joining us for the first time. I'm going to try to keep this very short and brief. But first of all, the schedule, we've got a jam-packed schedule for the event, for the weekend. We're very excited. You can find all the information in the run-of show. It is available through the tracker. If you have any questions, please feel free to grab an organizer at any point of time and ask them. Meals will be anything meal-related, food, snacks, drinks, food-related challenges will all be happening in one room. It will be in 307. This information is also available to you. There are restrooms and emergency exits on every floor, hopefully. Please do make sure you are familiarizing yourself with your nearest emergency exit at all times. For those of you who need to get connected to the Wi-Fi, for you Ottawa students, it's at your own. For those who are not part of the U Ottawa community, there is UO Public for you. There were a couple of people who asked me about tea informations. That is going to happen on the fifth floor. There is an area. It's 520. It is also this information's on your tracker, by the way. I know I keep saying that, but it's there. So that's for tea information. You can just go. You can meet people there, and if you still need any help with that, please find an organizer. We are identifiable through our organizer polos and our name tags. Mine just didn't come out of the dryer quick enough for me to have it on today. That is it for me. Thank you very much. I really, really hope you have a very, very pleasant weekend. Since I'm here, I would like to take a minute to thank my logistics team and the entire Hack the Hill family for their dedication and their support in making this happen. I would also like to take a minute to appreciate my co-VP, Thinola De Silva. He's not here at the moment, but thank you very much for everything. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I got tripped up by the curtains. I couldn't find my way out. Wow, there's so many of you. Hi, everyone. My name is Manal. I am VP Partnerships for this year's iteration of Hack the Hill. I am so grateful for all of you who have taken the time out of your busy weekends to join us here at Hack the Hill. As people have mentioned, it's our very second iteration. A lot of months have gone into this, and we can't continue the event without talking about one of the biggest contributors to our event, our sponsors. I am very grateful for their generous support for this hackathon, for believing in Hack the Hill's vision, for working with us for the last year to make incredible challenges, incredible initiatives, resources, job opportunities for those of you looking for internships. And I hope you can learn from their experience. I hope you learned something from this hackathon, from them. Get their LinkedIn connections. I know I will. They're all sitting in the front row here. So we'll take some time and we'll get to hear from every single one of them. You'll know exactly where to find every single sponsor. We also have Discord channels dedicated to each sponsor if you have any questions very specific to them. So without further ado, first, I would love to thank Sienna, one of our premier sponsors, for their continued belief in our potential of young innovators. Their commitment to driving technology and supporting education aligns perfectly with the vision here at Hack the Hill. So I'll please help me invite Rachel to speak about Sienna, and yeah, round of applause.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you all or to see you again if we've met at events in the past. My name is Rachel. I'm one of the early in career recruiters at Sienna. So if you ever interviewed for an internship, if you're looking for a new grad job, that would be me that you were probably talking to. So I have a short video that we're going to play in a moment that's just going to introduce you a little bit more to Sienna, and there it is. Thanks, Kian.
At Sienna, we have always dreamed big. Our industry moves at the speed of innovation. The question is not just what we need now, but what you'll need next. 25 years ago, we delivered the first metro and long-haul DWDM system. We brought the first coherent solution to optical networks at 40 gig and 100 gig. We did it again with 400 gig and 800 gig. For the first time, you got real-time visibility into your network, the simplest way to double your fiber capacity, and the lowest power 400ZR pluggable. We've always defined the new standard, and this time is no different. In an age when sustainability and power consumption are critical, your ambitious goals have always inspired us to challenge what others say is impossible. And we've done it again. 1.6 terabits per second for Metro DCI. 800 gig across the longest links. And 800 gig pluggables with the lowest energy consumption. Welcome to another world first. Welcome to WaveLogic 6, the new standard.
So that was a little bit about one of our recent products. As you may have gathered, we are a telecommunications company specializing in fiber optical networks. So what you just saw, if you saw that very end clip of New York City, was right after Sienna, with one of our partners, we completed the world's first 1.6 terabit per second transmission. So that is super exciting, and we've been working really, really hard. But Sienna we work in optics, routing and switching, services and automation software. We actually support 85% of the world's service providers. We have employees in 35 plus countries globally, and our technology supports way more than that. We have about 8,700 employees globally, with almost 3,000 of them actually located here in Ottawa, which is our biggest R&D site. So we're really excited to be here, and we hope you have a great weekend, and hope that you learn a lot, and thank you for having us.
Thank you, Rachel. Moving on, next, we are very thrilled to have Ross Video on board as a sponsor. I must say, before I can invite Kathy, the lovely Kathy, to come on and speak a little bit about Ross Video, I really hope you guys are listening carefully. There will be instructions coming forward. I know that there's a little bit of a nuanced discussion around the FPGA challenge. I'll let Kathy speak about Ross Video now. So please help me welcome Kathy. Great.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kathy McCallion. I am the Stakeholder and Community Relations Director at Ross. How many people in this room have heard of Ross before? Okay, great. That's fantastic. So wonderful to know, like to see that all those hands come up. Honestly, when I started with Ross about 6 years ago, when I asked that question, there might have been 5 people in the room. So we're super thrilled that so many people know about us. We do create technology for live production. So if you ever watch a sporting event, a live news broadcast, government broadcasts, houses of worship, that's likely our technology that brings that event to your screen. We have an array of technology, so 28 different products and services that we offer our clients. We can offer a full solution. But what that means to you is that we offer an array of employment opportunities for many different skills. We do offer, or we do create cameras, camera motion systems or robotics, switchers, routers, servers, a number of pure software products, and graphics. So there's, we have a need for hardware developers, specifically FPGA, software developers, both at the application level and the embedded level, mechanical engineers, graphics designers, and of course, all the support that goes behind those people as well. So currently, we have over 1,400 employees around the world, and we're in 100 different companies. And I'm happy to say we are celebrating our 50th year, or this is our 50th anniversary. I know it's pretty incredible to think about. As Manal mentioned, we are doing the very first, I think, FPGA challenge. It's been an incredible experience working with the partnership team here at Hack the Hill. We've been working together for, oh my goodness, at least 8 months, a long time. Manal and her team came to me back in March and suggested this. Of course, at that time, I don't think I realized the extent and the detail that had to go into this challenge. We have an incredible team that has worked on this challenge diligently. Shout out to Mike Pala and Ryan Hamilton and Fabiano in the front seat here, because they have been absolutely incredible. They are going to guide you through this challenge over the next couple of hours. But it's been a wonderful experience, and we can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So thanks very much for coming out this weekend. I think you guys are amazing. Make sure you put this challenge on your resume, because we love to see those extracurricular activities. It makes you stand out. And I can't say enough about you guys. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to working with you.
All right. Next up, we are very honored to have CSC with us, supporting our mission to foster technological development and innovation. Please help me welcome Namakau to the stage to talk a little bit about CSC and what they do here. So yeah, round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Does anybody know about communication security establishment? Hands up. Awesome. A few hands. But thank you so much for having us here. We are excited to meet everyone. So Communication Security Establishment is a government agency whose mandate is cybersecurity, foreign signal intelligence, cyber operations, so defensive and offensive. I don't have much to say, but I hope you will visit us at the table. We do a lot of cool stuff, projects that we work on that are classified, of course, but the minute you join us, you get to work on real projects. You get to be part of a team that's protecting Canada's infrastructure, information integrity against those cyber threats that come our way, or false actors. Now, right now, we have our student posters up for anyone looking for a placement in summer 2025. Just remember the close on Saturday, so make sure you get those applications in. Visit us at the table, and we'll be able to talk about criteria of eligibility and those that are suitable to apply. We'll be there. I've got 2 other colleagues that are waiting to meet all of you. Thank you.
All right. Moving swiftly forward, we would now like to invite our next sponsor, Loanhaven. Thank you for their generous support. Please help me welcome Disla to the stage. I know I saw him somewhere here. Sorry, he just had to step around. Yeah, there we go. Round of applause, guys. Sorry, I couldn't see him.
All right, how we doing? Feeling good? Yeah? All right. So I won't spend too much time talking about Loanhaven. A lot of you guys probably don't know what it is, but we are a multimedia agency. And the cool thing about us is 3 of our co-founders of Loanhaven are actually the co-founders of Hack the Hill. So we started both orgs, both companies a long time ago, maybe 2022, and we'll be here all weekend as well. One thing you'll notice is all the Loanhaven employees are also wearing Latte Lab merch. So if you want to come get some bevs with Loanhaven, you know where to be. Thank you.
Guys, I can tell you the Latte Lab is very exciting, so definitely don't miss out on that. Last but certainly not least, a very, very big thank you to Red Bull for keeping our participants very fueled on Red Bull energy drinks, but also for believing in Hack the Hill's vision to innovate. And they will be talking a little bit more about their program, which I think is fantastic and so exciting, especially for the people in this room. It is a very exciting initiative, and please help me welcome Carter to this stage to talk a little bit about Red Bull. Yeah, round of applause.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Carter. I'm just going to try to keep this brief. We're not offering any positions, unfortunately. I'm not a recruiter. If you're looking for a job, every summer we do internships in Toronto, and I'm sure there's tons of positions that will be valuable for you guys. What I'm here for today, though, I'll let you know a little bit about myself. I'm the field marketing specialist in Ottawa. So we run our student teams across 3 campuses, being Carleton, Algonquin, and of course, University of Ottawa. And this summer, we actually have a really cool project called Red Bull Basement. And pretty much what we're looking for are people and ideas. And our brand promise has always been to give wings to people and ideas. So this year, what we're looking to do is find people like yourselves who have ideas that could possibly change the world or make you a lot of money. I'm not judging. What we're really trying to do is help you really get to the next step in your projects. So you submit your idea through Red Bull Basement. We'll be over in CRX today. If not, redbullbasement.com. You can submit all your ideas. We take the top 20 ideas in all of Canada, put them together. One team is going to go to Tokyo, and this is where you get to compete against 20 other teams from all over the world. You get to meet a lot of really important people, network, venture capitalists. You can get funding for your ideas. The number 1 idea in all of the world is actually going to get an accelerated program in Silicon Valley, where they're going to work with you to really make your idea truly come to life. But all along the way, we're going to provide anything we can in terms of funding. We can do developmental tools, anything like that. So all it takes, to be honest with you, 2 minutes. You go on our website, submit your idea, what your concept is, tell us a little bit more about yourself, and it gives you the chance to win a life-changing experience. So that's what we're here for. And obviously, throughout the course of the weekend, if you need any boost, any energy, our goal is really to be there for you, provide energy drinks, keep you awake. Caffeine is always great over the course of 3 days. So try to find us over in CRX. We're going to be here today and Sunday, and on Saturday, tomorrow, we're going to drop as much Red Bull off as possible for you guys. Have a great weekend. Amazing being here. Thank you.
All right. So finally, I want to give a very grateful and thankful, heartfelt thank you to all of our sponsors here. Without them, we would just be an idea, but they are the people who make our dreams come true. And everything that will ensue today and this weekend is for all of you. It's an experience that you will always remember. I know the first time that I went to a hackathon, I always remembered it. And I know that this experience is something that all of you will take something away from this weekend. And all of our other sponsors as well here. They're going to be around. Some of them you'll see they are supporting our event, but they don't have representatives here. But feel free to check out their website. They're all on our tracker. They have great initiatives. They have great things for you, and I'm sure that they would love to speak with you as well. So let's now finally give a huge round of applause to all of our sponsors. In total, we truly appreciate everything you do, and let's make Hack the Hill 2 a success. Alrighty, now if you can give me a moment. Just a second, everybody. Stand by. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Alrighty, we're back. So you've heard from our sponsors, but we actually have a very important and very special guest with us today who will be sharing their experiences. I am so honored to announce to you or to let you guys know that we have in our midst Senator Tony Alfreda, who will be talking a little bit about his experience as a guest speaker with Hack the Hill. I won't speak too much on him. He is an incredible person. He will share his experiences with you. But please put a huge round of applause and help me welcome the senator on stage.
Wow, nice to see a packed house, jam-packed house here tonight. Thank you. I'm Senator Tony Lofreda. A pleasure to be here with you this evening, and I'm just going to time myself and so I can cover all the topics I'd like to cover. First of all, a thank you to the sponsors. And nothing ever happens without the sponsors. And we often forget that it's so important. And there's a nice quote that says, what you do for yourself is forgotten and dies with you, but what you do for others is immortal and lasts forever. So thank you for helping out the students and making this happen. Very important. A lot of people ask me, what does a senator do? But before becoming a senator, there's in the Senate of Canada, we have judges, doctors, business people, scientists. We have accomplished professionals. And I'll give you my learnings and how I got to the Senate of Canada. But before I do that, I'm Senator Tony Lofreda, and you can look me up on the web, and you'll find out all about my career. So I don't want to talk too much about that. I want to share what you can take back with you this evening. Many times, but before doing that, just to add some credibility, I'll talk a little bit about my path to the Senate. I started as a student, like all of you. I've got a Bachelor's of Commerce from University of Concordia. Actually, this summer, I've been on a university tour. I was invited by University of Oxford, University of Victoria, McGill University, University of Concordia, which is celebrating this year their 50-year anniversary. And they are one of the top 50 in the world, top 50 universities in the world under 50 years old. And I was honored the other evening. They have 50 great Concordians, and I'm one of the 50 that they've nominated. So I was honored to be there, and honored to be. And I'm honored to be. I was like one of you, and I was wondering, what am I going to do with my life? And like John Lennon said, life is what happens to you when you're making other plans. So I got a Bachelor of Commerce. I got a CPA, Certified Public Accountant, became an auditor. And many times today, people will tell you, or the youth will tell us, I want to do something I'm passionate about. I want to do something I really have fun. Even my son, I'm married 40 years with my high school sweetheart, and we have 2 kids. And my son wanted to go to a startup, have the gym. I wanted something. But we forget one thing. You have to build a passion for what you're doing also. Because you can't always start by doing, maybe you won't find something you're passionate about right off the starting gate. And why did I go into accounting to start? I went into accounting because in the early 80s, when I was in university, there was a recession, major recession. And we think interest rates are high now. They were close to 20%. Unemployment was way into the double figures. And Canada was struggling. It was hard. It was more difficult than now. And I said to myself, my dad said to me, and my grandmother would always tell me, you know, what are you doing? I came from an immigrant family. My dad used to sew mattresses. On the weekend, I started working at 13 years old at Cantor Bakeries because we had to help the family. And on the weekend, my dad, we'd sit down at the table and we'd count the labor tickets. A small mattress was 27 cents, a king size was 31 cents. And we'd calculate that we have enough for the week. So my grandmother used to say to me, what are you doing going to university, studying? You're not going to find a job. Look at youth unemployment. You've got to help the family. And I said, I'll prove it wrong. Where could you find a job? And accountants always had work. So I went into accounting. I became an auditor. After 6-7 years in audit, you're either a partner or you're not. And I said to myself, how can I really, really not give them any choice? And the banks in the early 90s, so I started in 84 working as an auditor. And the banks in the early 90s were having a hard time. They had lent to ONY in London. The branch managers, which were great people, but they were doing loans, looking at great conversations, 80% looking into the eye of who you're talking to. And they had that skill. They had the skill. It's always about people life. They had that skill. They knew about it. But analyzing the numbers, the businesses were growing, analyzing the numbers was becoming more difficult. They needed expertise. And I said, I'll go into banking for a few years, develop that expertise, develop a network, come back into audit and be a partner, a senior partner with a huge network. Well, I got into banking, and guess what? I fell in love with banking. I never went back. Why did I fall in love with banking? People. Life is about people. All of a sudden, when I got in as an auditor, only normal, the first thing they would do is saying, how long are you going to be here? Cafeteria is there, but that's for the employees. You know, if you guys could stay in the boardroom, nobody wanted to see that, hey, they're getting audited. There's something going on. They're verifying our books. But when I became a banker, all of a sudden, everybody wanted to be your friend. And my wife would tell me all the time, say, stay humble. It's only because you got a great product. Everybody needs money, right? And that was the case. Everybody needs money. But all of a sudden, you're invited to bar mitzvahs. You're invited to their weddings. And I loved it. I never went back. So I was a senior executive at RBC for the last 15 years before I went to the Canadian Senate. I've been a senator for 5 years. And I'll talk a little bit about RBC, but a few people I met asked me, what does a senator do? What does the Senate of Canada do? Well, Canada is a bicameral country. It has the House of Commons and the Senate. Any law has to be approved by both chambers, the House of Commons and the Senate. Senators could initiate laws, but they have to approve laws that the House of Commons have initiated or the government have initiated. So it can't become law unless the Senate of Canada has either initiated it and the House of Commons has approved it, or the House of Commons and the government have initiated the law and the Senate of Canada has approved it. So senators are there to approve laws, amend laws. We've amended close to 40 bills since the independent Senate. Represent regions, represent minorities, committees. Some of the best work of the Senate gets done in committees. We study topics of national interest. For example, the housing affordability crisis. We studied housing affordability. We released a report, published a report on housing affordability used by universities, academics, government. The government's budget looked into our report and put forward a few recommendations. Now we're going to study in the bank committee the mandate of the Bank of Canada. So my role as a senator, I've been in the Senate, it's been 5 years now. I'm into my 6th year. And I'll tell you why I got to the Senate, but my role at the Senate is I'm chair of the Interparliamentary Group of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. I'm deputy chair of the Trade, Commerce, and Banking Committee and Economy. I'm on the Finance Committee and on the CIBA, which is the Committee of Internal Budgets and Administration, which is a Senate board. vice chair of Canada, Italy. Vice chair of Canada, Spain, Canada, Romania, executive director of Canada, Italy, and Canada, Germany. So I'm very busy at the Senate. I love it. I love it, although it's very different from banking. And right now, the Senate of Canada, any Canadian could apply. So you apply, there's a committee, and the Prime Minister, the Governor General appoints you, but the Prime Minister obviously recommends you to the Governor General. He must agree with who the committee is nominating. And I was lucky enough to have been nominated 5 years ago. So that being said, at RBC, what would we look at first of all, it's values. Values are very important. If you're going to graduate, many times, I'll say a story as to who we do hire, who has success and who doesn't is extremely important. It's based on leadership and many other issues. But at RBC, values were so important. I was a senior executive there for 15 years. And what was most important was values. Service, responsibility, collaboration, diversity, integrity, never negotiable. So whatever you're going to do, never forget your values. I remember the first time when I got to RBC as a senior executive, they were saying, well, we're going to put a nice painting here. RBC was Canada's most valuable brand, Canada's largest company, market cap. I said, we're going to put a nice painting. Our clients, I said, no, I'd like to have on my floor, when they do come in, a poster or a frame of our values. People have to know who we are, what we stand for. Our values are so important. And when we'd hire, many times my VPs, I had 7 senior VPs, and directly, indirectly, we had thousands of people working with us, if I can say that. It's always we, and it's always about people. It's always about teamwork. And sometimes the VPs would say, we're looking at hiring an account manager. I want you to take one last look. I've got 2 or 3 that I'm not sure on. And so what do you test? When it comes at a certain level, may it be at the executive level, the senior executive level, or sports. I love sports. Look at the top teams. They're all there. Sometimes I would tell my teams, I was president of the AAA in Montreal for years. And I would tell them we did 1 extra push-up, or there's a very little difference between the first candidate and second candidate. So what would I look for? I would look for curiosity. How many questions would the interviewee ask me? Not me ask him ask me. Because the more curious they were, the more they would learn, the quicker they would grow, and it's all about growth. It's about growth, capacity to grow. And I think I covered the Senate and RBC very well, but there's many times our employees would ask us, or our executives would ask us, who do we have to hire? What does it take to succeed? What does it take to succeed? Do we go for the highest marks? And one of my favorite shows is Suits, for example. They only hire the Harvard lawyers, right? And do they take the top marks? But it's not always about marks. Lewis Terman, a great American psychologist, he invented the IQ formula in the US and around the world. He did a thesis that lasted 40 years. Now, 40 years for a thesis, you're all students, 40 years for a thesis for a PhD is a long time. He took the top 1,586 students in the US universities and top marks. And he wanted to know how many of those students would succeed in all the important aspects and elements of their lives. And he set a high bar, succeed at a high level, relationships, career, health, financial health, mental health, physical health, on and on. How many would succeed at those levels? At the bar where he set the bar. Of the top students in the US universities, less than 1% succeeded at those top levels after 40 years. So after 40 years, he had the masses from the universities 40 years ago of the students. He says, okay, those that did succeed at these levels in their career, in their relationships, in their health, etc., what did they do? What did they have mainly that the others didn't have? One was confidence. So if you don't have confidence, you will not succeed. You need confidence to try and try and try again and innovate. We're talking about technology. We're talking about hack on the hill. Technology is the future. He owns the data, owns the future. But you all know about technology. I want to talk to you about something else tonight, not just technology. You have more expertise than I do on technology. But about leadership, I can share some of my experience and learnings. So one was confidence. You need confidence. Two was ambition. Many times, some of those top students didn't have the ambition, or if they did, not enough ambition to succeed at that elite level that Louis Terman set. But most of all, perseverance. Because in life, you will have successes and you will have failures. And what I've learned more from weren't from my successes. Even though a success is like a failure, never dwell on it. Put it in your pocket, move on. Move on. Don't look back, look forward all the time. And life is about people, and let others share your successes. But you learn from your failures and perseverance. So it's confidence, ambition, and perseverance. And today what I'm looking at the time, and give me a time, somebody, if I'm going too long, and I'm passionate, I can go on for a few minutes. But today what I see a lot today, okay, is in business was one thing. In business, there's goodwill, right? With RBC, it's goodwill. It has to be a win-win. And if the client is asking for 10 million, I spent most of my life in commercial banking where you were needed as a banker. My tail end was as executive vice chairman at RBC, and I loved it. And then how did I get to the Senate? Well, after 35 years in the financial industry, you've got to look to your next chapter. I was a senior executive for 15 years, and I said, where could my next chapter be? And I've always had, I'll tell you the truth, since I was a kid, I was a huge Montreal Canadiens hockey fan. They would win Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup in the 70s when I was in high school. I loved the team. And Montreal was, was in my blood. And I love Montreal, born and raised there. And there was a captain, Serge Savard. They were called the Senator. And so I was young. I'd ask my dad, why do they call Serge Savard the Senator? He says, well, my dad says, hey, the Senator. He says, that's the most important role in most countries. It's the upper chamber. It can't become law unless the Senator approves it. The Senator approves it. He recommends legislations. And so they've got to go to Serge Savard before anything happens on the Canadiens. And so I always stuck with me. So when after 35 years in banking, I said, the upper chamber, why not apply to the Senate of Canada? And this could be a fine next chapter. Not thinking that I would, or that I would be nominated, but I did get nominated. But what leads me to my next point. A lot of people will ask me, what's the difference between business and politics? And why politics? Politics is different. It's difficult. It's a blood sport. But so is a senior executive in a bank. It's not easy. Every single day you wake up, you've got to earn your job. And leadership is about people. It's selfless leadership. It's not about yourself. And a leader, people will think, if I'm nice to my employees. Leadership is not about being nice. It's about being fair and about being strong. Now, the first role of a leader, Machiavelli used to say, a leader should be feared and loved. But if you can't be feared and loved, better to be feared than to be loved. I disagree. I think the first role of a leader is to be loved in business. Because if you're loved, get your employees on your side, a bottoms-up approach where I would ask every big decision, I would ask every VP or 10 people, what do you think? What do you think we should do? I would take my own decision. I was responsible. But they felt they were involved. They felt, hey, I had something to say about this. And engagement is crucial in business. You need the engagement of the employees. You need the engagement of your organization. You need their support. And so a bottoms-up approach all the time. It was always about them, never about me. And even when we'd go to the client, I remember that first meeting when I got to RBC as a senior executive. We're going to take the pamphlets. We're going to talk about RBC, what we can do. I said, no. We're going to listen first. We're going to speak last. Speak last. We're always the first ones that, no. We're going to listen first, speak last. We're going with a blank sheet of paper. We're going to take notes. And a lot of the clients would say, wow, I love the meeting. I saw Tony taking notes. And so it's so important that it's about them. It's about people. Regardless how competent you are in your field, what's going to help you grow in an organization is your ability to get along with people, your ability to get along with others, your ability to work as a team, your ability to make connections. I remember that first cocktail. I spoke about the first meeting. First cocktail said, we at RBC, when I was hired, well, in the past, I was a senior director in North American corporate banking at the National Bank of Canada, which was a much smaller bank. And when RBC wanted a senior executive in Quebec, well, at the National Bank of Canada, we had a large market share in Quebec, So I was one of the rare senior executives they went to recruit externally. And I remember that first meeting. You know, somebody comes in and says, oh, I gave out 50 business cards. I met everybody. And I said, that's not what business development is about. That's not what connecting with people is about. Connecting with people is about creating instant intimacy. Instant intimacy. And when you meet somebody, how do you create instant intimacy? Because that's what will help you the most in life, is your connections, the people you know, the people, the circle, your circle. If your circle doesn't inspire you, you're in the wrong circle. You don't got a circle. You're alone. So your circle has to inspire you. How do you develop that circle that inspires you? When you meet somebody that's worthwhile, you create instant intimacy. And they have to feel that, hey, they've known you for a long time when they walk out. And how do you do that? You don't talk about the weather. You don't talk about the Canadians, even though I love the Canadians. But, well, they'll be future Stanley Cup champions, I'm sure. But I'm in Ottawa. I love the Ottawa Senators too, the Senators especially. But that being said, it's instant intimacy. Talk about your family, your challenges, your objectives, who you are. And, this is why I set the stage to talk a little about who I am, what did I come from. So it's important to do that, creating that instant intimacy, creating that bond with who you're talking to. So in business, that's important. In business, it's important. Goodwill. What's important? It has to be always a win-win. You can't always win. In politics, what we see today, it's how do you bring down your opposition? A lot of rhetoric, bring down your opposition. On social media, if you put something that's too long, people won't even look at it. They won't even read it. If you write an article, I write an op-ed, you can follow me, Senator Tony Lofreda, with an A, or Senator Tony in Canada. I'm sure there's a few of us, but actually there's 3 at the Senate right now. Tony Dean, Tony Verone, and myself, Tony Lofreda. Senator Tony Lofreda, you can follow me. On LinkedIn, I've got over close to 30,000 followers. And I post every day, 1 post or 2 posts a day, what I did at the Senate that day. I'll do an op-ed, and we'll post where we've been, just to show what senators do, to try to, because a lot of Canadians don't know what the Senate does, what a senator does. And I don't want to dwell too long on it. But that's important to find out, and educate yourselves. Educate yourselves on politics, on the world, on technology, on everything around you. So going back to difference between politics and business, win-win. Your client has to be happy. In politics, how do you take down the opposition? And sometimes, not even with substance, you don't even need substance. Just small syllables, small sentences. And in social media, like I was saying, people, the attention span is so small. We'll write an op-ed every month, and if we make it too long, people won't even read it. So I think the challenge for future leaders, is substance. Bring substance to the table. And I want to end with one story, one quick story, if you allow me. One quick story. What we hear today is a lot of negativity all the time. How do you take down the opposition, right? People don't even talk about what they're going to do. It's how bad the opposing party is. That's all you're here during question period. It's not here, I've got a bright idea, right? The Senate, we bring forward ideas. There's a great study that's been done by the Florida Tennis Academy. And they wanted to know, they studied and did an analysis, why the top 5, they took the top 25 tennis players in the world. And why were the top 5 winning all the time? Well, why was it always them? Why weren't the other 20 not winning? So they said, is it coaching? No. They all had pretty much the same caliber coaching. Was it the age they started playing? No, pretty much the same age. Was it exercise, diet, lifestyle? No. They were all professionals, pretty much with the same lifestyle, diet, etc. What they found out, it was mindset. It was their mindset. After every point that the top 5 players lost, they said, hey, I made this shot 1,000 times. I can do it again. Confidence, mindset. I love being here. Look at this crowd. I love this tournament. I love this game. They enjoyed it. I'm going to win. Positive mindset. And they weren't getting upset after the points they lost. They were saying, I'll make the next one. And what did that do? Why does the positive mindset, why did that allow them to win? Well, their breathing rate slowed down. Their heart rate slowed down. So they preserved the energy. That additional energy allowed them to be victorious. So the positive mindset, staying cool, calm in the face of adversity, allowed them to win at the end of the day. So that being said, I think my 10 minutes is up, and I don't want to go on too long, but I think I'll end with one word. And I think today, in today's world, what we need more is there's a nice quote that I love, and it was a university teacher that was diagnosed with cancer, and he has a great book, The Last Lecture, it's called, and he had a great quote in there. He did the last lecture, although he had a few months to live, and he says, and everybody says, how come you're so positive? He says, in life, you don't choose the cards you are dealt, but you do choose the way you play the hand. So when you're faced with adversity, you're having problems, you're having troubles, play that hand well. Go on, keep moving, confidence, ambition, perseverance, and a positive mindset. So thank you very much.
Move this down. I want to take a moment to express our deep appreciation to Senator for his kind and inspiring words. Your message of support has undoubtedly inspired all of us today, and I hope we can take his lessons and not only inculcate them into this weekend, but also for the rest of our lives. All right, that being said, moving on to what you have all been waiting for since the moment you've clicked on that apply button, I would like to invite Justin and Kashwari from community team to speak a little bit about the rest of the hackathon and all of the details relevant for you.
Thank you. Is this thing on? There we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Justin. I'm the Vice President of Community here for Hack the Hill. I'm incredibly grateful to be up here, especially since I have the honor of introducing the theme for this year's hackathon.
Hello. Is this on? Yeah, perfect. Bonsoir. Je m'appelle Keish et je suis membre de l'équipe de communauté. Je veux juste dire merci à tout le monde d'être ici aujourd'hui. Moi, je vais juste traduire tout ce qu'on dit en français. C'est un incroyable honneur d'être ici pour vous introduire à Hack the Hill, à ce qu'on va faire, à tous nos défis et au thème aussi, bien sûr. Oh oui, yeah. Bon, alors je vais vous introduire avec le thème de l'année. Alors un petit peu drum roll, please.
Can we get a drum roll? And this year's theme will be self-improvement. Woo! A lot of hackathons do some sort of sustainability theme, but they usually do it for the environment. We here at Hack the Hill realize that the most important thing to sustain is ourselves. Whether or not you're at your best today, it doesn't matter. It can always get better. With that comes our general challenge. The challenge is to make a project about self-improvement. This could be many things. It could be a productivity tool, a mental health improvement tool, a physical health tracker, or even a self-learning tool. For inspiration, I recommend you talk to your team. If you guys have similar goals, you're going to be more passionate about what ideas you're going to make.
All right. Alors, sorry? The coda, it's gonna get there soon, don't worry. Bon. Alors, le thème de l'année, en français, c'est l'amélioration de soi. De nombreux hackathons ont pour thème normalement la durabilité et tout, généralement pour l'environnement. En ce qui nous concerne, nous, en personne, ben, c'est important de réaliser que nous, on est plus important à nous-mêmes. Et que vous soyez ou non dans votre meilleur état aujourd'hui, les choses peuvent toujours s'améliorer. Dans cette optique que nous avons lancé dans notre défi général. Le défi consiste à réaliser un projet sur l'amélioration de soi qui peut s'agir de plusieurs choses, aussi de productivité, d'application d'amélioration de la santé mentale, des trackers de la santé physique et même des outils d'apprentissage. Pour vous inspirer, discutez en équipe et dans vous-même. Alors, si vous avez des choses en commun, alors vous pouvez utiliser ça en termes d'objectifs. Cela vous aidera à être plus passionné par ce que vous allez créer plus tard.
All right, thank you, thank you. Now that we have our general challenge out of the way, we can move on to the sponsorship challenges. So, as you heard from our lovely representatives over there at Ross, we're going to be hosting one of the first FPGA challenges for a hackathon here. If you are signed up for that or even remotely interested in that, please go to C308 at 8:30 for a mandatory FPGA challenge workshop hosted by Ross. Yes, if you are interested or you have signed up, it is mandatory. So please go to that. Next up, we have our Siena Challenge, and I'm going to let our representative, Anthony, take it from here.
Thank you for that introduction, and I really like that idea of self-improvement. That's a great theme. Yeah, it's great to be here tonight. My name is Anthony. I'm here with Siena. It's awesome to be amongst so much great new bright talent here, and I'm super thrilled to have the opportunity here to announce Siena's challenge for the hackathon. So I've got some notes here, and I'll just give you a quick overview in about 2 minutes of what you can expect. So the objective for this challenge is to create a peer-to-peer file sharing system using a TCP/IP networking stack. Now, it comes in 3 different stages that are going to progressively build on each other and get progressively more difficult as well. So it will be beginner, intermediate, and then advanced. So stage 1. The minimum requirements we're looking for are in this stage, and then the future stages will just be bonus points. So first, we can start by thinking about if you have a typical network, and we're going to start with minimally 4 different hosts or nodes in this network. So typically you might have one server that stores a file and then multiple other hosts in that network that are requesting the file information. Now, the fun twist we have for you today is that each node is going to possess some portion of a file. In this case, it's going to be 2 megabytes, and it's going to be split into chunks of 512 bytes. And each host can have a varying number of these chunks. Now, the idea is to have it so that each node can upload and download the chunks from each of the other hosts, so acting as both kind of a server and a client, and can put together the file maintaining the integrity. So that is the first stage 1. Now, for stage 2, you have some options to look into, some enhancements such as different network management features and fault tolerance. And when it comes to stage 3, you can look more into implementing features like AI, implementing a UI, or looking into other complex protocols. And of course, bonus points will be given for working implementations. And that's about it for the challenge. So thank you so much, and good luck and have fun.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Now, Alongside these big challenges, we have 5 mini challenges for you to compete for as well. Each of these mini challenges will have two teams as winners. So first off, our best use of AI and cloud technologies challenges are pretty self-explanatory. Our best UI/UX is awarded to the team with the best look and feel for their project. The best hardware hack is awarded to the team with the best pure hardware project. And finally, the best Carleton and U Ottawa collaboration is an award to solidify the unity between the two rival schools. If the team is comprised of half Carleton and half U Ottawa students, you're eligible to win this prize.
Ouh.
Yeah, boo all you want.
All right. En plus de ces grands défis, nous avons également 5 mini-défis à relever. Ces défis se comprendront par 2 équipes. Notre meilleure utilisation de l'IA et la technologie cloud est assez accessible et en 2 équipes. Notre meilleure utilisation, le meilleur UI UX est décerné aux équipes qui présentent le meilleur aspect de la meilleure convivialité pour l'utilisateur. Le meilleur hack matériel est décerné à l'équipe ayant le meilleur projet purement matériel, seulement, juste physique. Enfin, la meilleure collaboration, dans mon opinion, entre Carleton et l'Université d'Ottawa récompense l'unité entre les 2 universités. Alors, si votre équipe est composée d'une moitié d'étudiants de Carleton et d'une moitié d'étudiants d'Ottawa, alors vous pouvez remporter ce prix.
All right, so like I said earlier, I'm the VP of the community team. Our team is responsible for hosting many events and competitions throughout the year, oftentimes making your lives a whole lot better. To be honest, we've been doing this for about a year now, and quite frankly, I don't know how much more I can take. But don't worry, we saved our best event for last.
Alors, comme je l'ai dit avant, moi, je suis un membre de l'équipe de communauté. Je m'appelle Kish et je travaille genre sous Justine. Moi, en tous les cas, elle m'a bien protégée. J'ai pas eu autant de peine. Mais durant l'année, notre équipe a créé plusieurs événements et compétitions ici à Ottawa, rendant notre vie genre plus agréable. Nous avons fait cela depuis environ 1 an et genre il n'y a pas mieux à faire pour moi en tous les cas. Mais ne vous inquiétez pas, nous avons bien sûr gardé le meilleur pour la fin. Le hackathon, il faut en parler.
So, if you guys look at your schedules, each day is packed with workshops, events, and challenges. First off, start off by going to one of our introductory workshops to teach you essential skills for your project. Come by and relax in our arts and games room when the competition heats up. And while you're at it, go get a latte that's handmade by our team of talented baristas. Don't forget to participate in our scavenger hunt and IRL GeoGuessr to unlock your inner explorer. And how could anybody miss up the chance to talk to our sponsors in their very own workshops?
Merci. Bon, si vous allez sur votre application Tracker, chaque journée est remplie avec genre beaucoup d'ateliers, d'événements, de jeux et tout, et des défis. Nous vous proposons des ateliers d'initiation que vous pouvez utiliser pour vous enseigner des compétences essentielles qui vont vous aider dans votre projet. Vous pouvez aussi passer et faire un tour pour vous détendre dans la salle d'art, dans la salle de jeu. Et pendant que la compétition se chauffe, vous pouvez juste aller faire un petit café, dire bonjour à nos baristas et genre même leur faire un clin d'œil, si vous voulez. Alors, n'oubliez pas aussi de participer dans la chasse au trésor et au GeoGuessr en personne pour débloquer l'explorateur qui sommeille en vous, peut-être. Mais plus important, ne ratez pas l'occasion, genre formidable, pour venir parler aux sponsors qui sont ici et genre aller à leurs ateliers. Ouais. Tout cela est au programme.
All right. Well, it's not all fun and games, however. Sometimes you hit a wall while building. You've exhausted Stack Overflow. ChatGPT is quite frankly sick and tired of you guys asking questions. And tensions are starting to build in the team. What do? Well, luckily for everybody, we have an incredible team of mentors as well as other resources to help you and your team. Simply join our Discord if you haven't already and raise a ticket for our mentors to see. They'll always be there shortly to help you out. As well, if you have any incidents to report, please raise an incident ticket as well. There's also going to be a bunch of other resources for emergencies and other incidences on our Discord as well.
Bon. Alors, comme il a dit, ce n'est pas que des jeux et des rires. Parfois, vous allez rencontrer des obstacles. Stack Overflow, ça vous aide plus. ChatGPT, s'en lasse de vos questions et tout. Les tensions, ça commence à monter. Heureusement, on est là pour vous. Et c'est pas que nous deux, mais il y a une grande équipe qui est là pour vous aider, les mentors, et vous aurez aussi accès à des ressources. Alors, rejoignez simplement le Discord. C'est tout simple. Ouvrez un ticket et il y aura beaucoup de manières pour vous puissiez avoir de l'aide.
All right, now, once you've built your masterpieces, it's time for them to get judged. Each challenge has a description of what to do, and most importantly, what their criteria for success is. Judges will use this criteria to grade your projects. All the best programmers understand what their assignment is before they do it, which is why I am not considered one of the best programmers. This information can all be found on our Discord, which all of you need to register in order to be considered for judging and be considered for prizes. Woo! At 11 a.m. on Sunday, all projects must be submitted for dev post in order to be judged. Each team will be judged in 7 minutes, with 4 minutes for pitching and 3 minutes for Q&A. Only one submission per team is allowed. Dev post submission resources, where to find helpers, and your judging schedules will all be on Discord. So it's very important that you all join. Don't worry if your project isn't fully finished anyway. Pitch it. Between you and I, broken demos and making missing content sounds more like features to me rather than mistakes. So, wink.
Bon. Alors, une fois que vous avez construit vos chefs d'œuvre, ben, c'est temps d'arriver. Il faut les montrer, il faut les faire juger. Chaque défi est accompagné d'une description de ce qu'il faut faire, bien sûr. Il faut juste suivre et genre pour que votre projet soit évalué, quoi. Bon, les meilleurs programmeurs, normalement, ils composent toujours leur mission, ils comprennent toujours la mission avant de commencer. C'est pour ça que moi, Inclure et Justin, ben, on n'est pas les meilleurs programmeurs. Il faut juste garder un œil sur votre dev post. Vous pouvez vous inscrire dans les concours et les défis et ça va être pris pour que ça soit pris en compte par les juges et bien sûr pour que vous pouvez avoir les prix surtout. À 11h, dimanche, tous les projets doivent être soumis sur DevPost pour être pris en considération. Chaque équipe sera jugée pendant 7 minutes par un panel de jugés avec 4 minutes pour présenter et 3 minutes pour répondre aux questions. Une seule soumission par équipe sera acceptée. Alors, ouais. Là, des ressources, il y aura beaucoup de ressources pour soumettre sur DevPost. Et la manière de trouver de l'aide, ce sera bien sûr Discord. Discord, c'est votre ressource, vous pouvez y aller où vous voulez. Entre nous, les démos défectueuses, ben, c'est pas vraiment des bugs, c'est juste des fonctions additionnelles que vous pouvez utiliser peut-être plus tard. C'est une manière d'apprendre. Alors, juste venez pitcher. Bon, alors, ben, eh bien, nous avons presque fini de bavarder, a lot of yapping. En partant, n'oubliez pas de passer par notre foire aux emplois au hall de CRX. Venez papoter, genre interagir, discuter avec nos meilleurs sponsors. Ross Video fournira les informations sur leur défi FPGA au 3e étage, salle 308. Notre photomaton ouvrira à 21h30, alors n'hésitez pas à venir pour prendre des photos et créer des mémoires. Et nous aurons aussi un espace de formation pour les équipes à 21h30 pour vous faire des équipes au 5e étage, un atelier matériel à 22h à la salle 308 et un atelier développement web pour débutants à 23h30 à la salle 307. Vous pouvez voir tout ça sur le schedule. Ouais. Si vous prévoyez utiliser du matériel embarqué, vous devez assister à cet atelier. Quand vous avez pris les matériels, il ne faut pas oublier qu'il faut aussi les retourner. Bon, ben c'est tout de ma part, Ben, il faut commencer à réfléchir, vérifier votre Discord et n'oubliez pas de mettre un peu de déodorant, s'il vous plaît. Il ne faut pas que ça pue ici. Ouais.
All right. Well, I see a lot of you are about to leave, so don't worry. We're almost done yapping. When you leave, don't forget to go to our career fair at the CRX lobby, first floor, and talk to our lovely sponsors. Ross Video will be providing information on their FPGA challenge on the 3rd floor, room 308. It is mandatory if you want to participate in the challenge. Don't forget. Our photo booth will be open at 9:30, so go ahead and take those lovely photos and make those lovely memories with your team. We'll be having a space for team formation at 9:30 on the 5th floor, a beginner web dev workshop at 11:30 at room 307, and a hardware workshop at 10 p.m. in room 308. If you plan on doing embedded hardware, you must attend this workshop. They will explain how and where you will get your hardware and where to return it when you're done. Well, that's all from us. Start brainstorming, check your Discords, and for God's sake, put on your deodorant. And welcome to Hack the Hill 2! Woo! Let's go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.